happen.
We are like the next evolution of Blue's Clues, then, aren't we? Because Blue is just a PNG jumping around the screen.
There you go.
That's weird.
Finding clues.
Yeah.
And putting and piecing
and we're
together.
finding clues! Get out of here!
We're just Blue's Clues this whole time!
Are you kidding me?
Game theory's just been Blue's Clues forever.
Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where the intro's true again.
The intro's true today.
It came back around.
Making it true.
If you just wait long enough, it all cycles back.
Right? It's just, history is cyclical, and we're here to prove that today because the person in the intro is in the intro again.
Finally, it summons you back.
Right? I know, it's like a magnet. I'm like, oh no, it's playing again. It's like the bat signal. I hear the call.
It's a very ineffective bat signal,
It is.
to be honest.
It doesn't work. The percentage effectiveness is very low. But
yeah, it's like, Commissioner Gordon goes to the roof and he's like, oh no, the Joker's on the loose. And Batman sees and he's like, I'm going to ignore that.
I have this other meeting though.
but I'm dropping with the boys in Fortnite, man.
No, I'm always here in my heart. Though.
Yeah.
I'm always
in
here.
your heart? I'm glad that you're here in your heart.
What?
You said I'm always here in my heart.
And
here.
I'm always here in my heart.
Sorry, I was confused.
Wow.
What?
I see what kind of day it's going to be around here.
No, I was just very concerned about your heart health.
Well,
we haven't been able to eat Cheerios all this month.
I know, that's true.
That's a heart healthy cereal.
Wait, are they in on the secret here?
No, actually, we haven't talked about this. Okay, so obviously there's a lot to discuss today because yesterday we announced, some large things that are happening.
Yeah, a big retirement event, but more importantly.
But first, let's talk about Cheerios.
Yeah. Seriously, can we talk about some sugar for a second?
Yes. So right now, Steph, myself, Ash, as well as a couple other members of Team Theorist, we are going through like the hardest core New Year's resolution out there.
We're doing a sugar-free 30-day challenge, not really a challenge, experiment for food theory. And we're all in it together, just like High School Musical, and none of us are eating Cheerios or anything else with added sugar or made of like simple carbs like white bread and white rice. And so we're all hanging tough this month, but it was really hard yesterday. It was really hard.
It's been a bit punchier of a month, I would say. So we have like 6 experiments all happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Things that I wanted to do / we all collectively wanted to do before the end of my tenure as hosts of the channels, which is the thing that we announced yesterday and the thing that obviously we're going to be talking a lot about today.
So it's like a sprint to the finish with like all of these things happening at the same time. And there are like different pockets of us, like different little groups of us, all doing like 4 of them, but different people have different ones, and it's sort of a crazy mess.
And I'm kind of this weird nexus of like, I'm doing them all, and it's intense. Oh,
you're
I'm not actually.
Hair.
No, I'm not doing hair.
No, you're not doing hair.
Amy's first episode, or one of her first episodes.
Someone spotted in another episode of ours, I think in the toothbrushing episode, the Rogaine that's sitting on our counter right now, and they were like, wow,
you guys.
Wow, Matthew's such a boss, just like having his Rogaine out there for everyone to see. I saw this like tweet, and I was like, nope, that's mine for a hair growing experiment. Not because I'm going bald. We're trying to test like different hair growth techniques and what works the best. So we've got like 80 different tools that we're all testing. But no, that's the one you're not a part of.
No, that's the only one I'm not a part of.
But that's the only one I think that you've been called out on in another video.
That's so funny. Yeah. So right now, because it's kind of like the final 10 theories, final 9 theories, this countdown, it's my chance to finally do the theories that have been like kicking along in the background, or things that I'm like, oh, I should get to this eventually, or hey, like this wouldn't normally work, but we're just gonna do it anyway. And so the programming lineup over the next 9 weeks at this point are pretty fun. There's gonna be obviously some things that we have to cover, things like Garden Ban. Ironically enough, it's the first game theory after my announcement video, which means that we are literally in the darkest of timelines.
Yeah.
But that was just, I think, purely out of obligation. So good on you, Garden Ban, you snuck in. Got like Poppy Playtime and stuff, which is going to be releasing, and I'm excited about covering anyway. But then we're going to be tipping into some really fun stuff as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a few wacky episodes coming up.
We're giving up sugar as I kind of like try to make myself healthier in a post-hosting these channels lifestyle.
What, eating candy before working out last year didn't really do it for you? Crunching a bunch of warheads and then hopping on the treadmill didn't really float your boat for health?
That was a rough one. Food theory has not been great. Going to the fair and literally eating 30 different fair foods and then riding all the rides. Yeah, that's real positive for the heart health there.
Pinnacle of health and fitness
so
this year.
So we've got no sugar. That's one that a lot. But how are you doing on the no sugar stuff, Ash?
Oh, I was like dying for a little bit. I'm less dying now.
That's good.
Right?
Less dying.
The dying decreases over time.
And yet the dying resurges. Because like today I woke up and I'm like, oh, there's death in my head again. But I also don't know if that is a count of the other one that we're doing, which is a no caffeine one, which, as someone who literally injects Diet Harris Teeter or Diet Coca-Cola into my veins, that's been a rough ride. Every second day, I'm like, no, my head is exploding.
How many days in? So you're 10 days in. So the caffeine should actually be finally officially out of your system now.
Should be. Tell that to my head when I woke up this morning, and I'm like, oh, there's a mild throbbing headache in there. So that's cool. So we're doing a no caffeine thing to test out whether or not like caffeine-based lotions, like skincare products and stuff. This is style theory. Obviously, it wouldn't be food theory. Skin lotions, yeah.
I don't know. You never know.
You don't, actually. What if we eat it? But whether you actually absorb the caffeine into your skin and see how that affects your mood. So in order to purge the caffeine out of our systems, it takes 9 days. So I've been free of all of that. I've been free of artificial sugars. Mm-hmm. You're doing hair growth alongside a bunch of other people.
We have like
Tom.
a 10-week hair growth experiment with like 6 people on the team all over the world. So we're doing hair growth. And then we finished up toothbrushing, thank goodness, a few weeks ago.
That was so much harder than I expected it to be. That was miserable. I did not anticipate how difficult it would be to go with lackluster toothbrushes for extended periods of time, and the disclosure tablets also a rough ride there.
Yeah. Game theory gets a road trip a little bit later on. TBD.
Yeah.
To be disclosed.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's fun because there's a lot of like bucket list episodes for me. The Chipotle burrito optimization, which was my original pitch for food theory of like what hacks can you use at Chipotle? Not like get everything in small bowls or whatever, but like, if you're friendly to the server, if you order quick, if you order slow, if you're a man, if you're a woman, like what determines how much you get in your end product, and does anything determine? Like I've wanted to test that since the very beginning of the channel, and we never did it, and now I get my chance to do it, and I'm excited about it, and it's gonna be a lot of burritos. But that obviously is gonna be happening after our sugar-free
Yeah,
stuff.
and we've got to make sure there's results for that one, because what if we go in and there's like, because we have to send a bunch of people in to do this. I hope there is a right answer at Chipotle. I hope there is.
Absolutely, 100%. Every time that Steph and I go to Poke and order the exact same thing, I get like heaping, and Stephanie gets like half. Even though we got the exact same order.
My hypothesis is it's because I'm a girl, and they're like,
you're a petite girl.
We don't need to give her as much. We have the exact same order. We are paying the same amount.
Yep.
And I'm getting like 2/3 of the amount.
It's fascinating. I think that there is a bias against small people, or maybe even small females, especially small females.
I get really mad about it.
Yeah, no, it is
because I really like Poke. Anyway, okay.
But yeah, we have meme-ish episodes coming up. We have like revisiting of old stuff. We're gonna have returning guests coming back. We're traveling to undisclosed locations to kind of do kind of homages to things that we've done in the past, which is really exciting. I think that's a good way of putting it, to tease it.
It's gonna be a really fun next 2-ish months.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah, so anyway, long and short of it is, obviously yesterday we did the announcement video where I'm saying, hey, on March 9th, I am relinquishing hosting duties of the channel over to the creative directors, Tom, Lee, Santi, and Amy, who are all going to be taking those individual Theorist channels and going off into the wind. And I'm just going to be working in the background, working alongside them to brainstorm ideas, do programming, help with research and things like that, but also
Keep Tom from trying to deny the moon.
Yeah,
in an episode of Game Theory.
Yeah, make sure that the moon still exists. The tides still flow. But then beyond that, my focus starts to turn out to creating the IP that I can then challenge them with. That's one of the things that I've been really passionate about. One of the things I'm really excited to do, where it's stuff like and I mentioned this in the announcement video, so I don't want to rehash it too much. But like this lore-fi idea, I mentioned it, I think middle of last year here on GTLive, and you guys really liked it. I really liked it as a concept, and I'm able to dedicate like an hour a week to it, which is not nearly enough time, to be honest. And so it's one of those things that, hey, we'll be able to focus in on stuff like that, which is this lo-fi mystery series, which is really cool. There's the animation show that we did middle of last year. There's the fashion show that we have coming up in April that is coming together really well. And those are just kind of like the immediate things on the docket. And then from there, we'll see. There's this game idea. I make mention of that, but I've wanted to do it for so long. And it's like conversations with people have been on and off for like better part of 4 years or something. It's one of those where we started talking to people.
It keeps coming up, and then it's like, we should do that.
Right, it comes up.
It comes back, and then it comes back around.
It comes up. We'll have a couple conversations about it. We'll have we'll poke feelers out there about like, hey, can you help us design a game? And
the answer never comes back quite right. So we have to find someone to partner with who is gonna. It's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of games.
Yeah. So anyway, that is kind of the coming events. And then obviously on March 9th, like I said, that is MatPat's Final Theory. If you want to be a part of it, so there is stuff in the works for that. We're crafting it now. We're filming stuff for it right now. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be, whereas the announcement video was very emotional, and it was kind of a love letter to you guys and just like an explanation of all these changes that are happening, and really kind of like just expressing how much you mean to me. I think the final episode is going to be geared more towards like, hey, this is celebration, this is forward looking, this is fun, upbeat, a good old nostalgia trip, and then sailing off into the sunset.
Yeah, the bon voyage, the mat voyage.
Yeah, mat voyage. But if you want to be a part of it, we've actually set up a Gmail account.
5 minutes ago. Yeah.
Literally right before we hit record on this. Woo! Planning.
Hey!
Planning. So hopefully it works. I believe it is GTjustatheory?
gtjustatheory at gmail.com.
Yeah, got it.
gtjustatheory@gmail.com.
Ooh, that's catchy.
Yeah.
I guess. We'll say it is.
It's a jingle that exists.
Yeah, it is a GTjustatheory at gmail.com.
Here's what you're sending.
Yeah, here's what you're sending us. I want you to say, but hey, that's just a theory. So videos of you or doing it in whatever style that you'd like.
Only if you want to.
Only if you want to.
And only if you want to share.
No, you must do it. You must. I will force you to do
Legally,
this.
that is not a thing.
Legally, that is not true. No. That is not a thing. But yeah, if you are excited and interested and comfortable being a part of that, I would love to have you as a part of it. So submit a video.
Yes.
But hey, that's just a theory. Done.
If you're a kid, please have your parents' consent and a parent giving a quick thumbs up so that we know that it's okay.
Yeah, or do it with your parents,
Yes.
so that way there's like implicit
please do it with your
confirmation.
parents or something.
Yes. But yeah, and we'll try to incorporate as many as we can. Obviously, I would assume that we'll get a lot of submissions, so we'll do our best to compile everything. But just so you know, that is a way that you can get involved. We are very excited about that. And without any further, so that's like table setting. That's kind of coming events. That's where we're going. But there were a lot of questions that came up in response to this, as well as a lot of activity over on the subreddit.
Yeah.
A lot of activity over on the subreddit.
There's a lot of activity everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the subreddit is is obviously like a very special place. And so I think we're going to look through some of the threads.
Yeah, so I think yesterday we were trending all over. It was
wild.
It was incredible. I did not expect such an outpouring, and it was one of those things too where the amount of like my time with MatPat stories were just it was really nice to read. I was just browsing random subreddits, like I think it was like the videos subreddit, and they'd posted my video, and there was like someone from my high school who said he was friends with me, and like, oh, I'm sad that we fell out of touch, but here's stories of MatPat when he was in high school. And he's like, and he took his wackiness and like distilled it down, and anyone was going to be successful, I knew it would be him, and it was really nice.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I'm like, hello, friend. I don't know who you are because this is an anonymous platform, but please reach out. I'd love to reconnect. Yeah, it was really sweet. So I don't know who that is, but it's been really fun. Some of the YouTube channels that we've gotten to meet recently, like Wait in the Wings and stuff. He was giving his stories about meeting us at Grey House, and I reminded him that we still have a Broadway date next time we're in New York. And just across the board, it's been really amazing to see.
Huge number of messages, and lots behind the scenes too, from like people we've worked with on different projects throughout the years, people from like, a video that we filmed, 6 years ago, who, you don't have to stay in touch with every single person you work with and stuff, so you just don't hear from people, but like coming back with these really kind messages and stuff, just overall, it was really, really touching, really special.
Old team members,
oh my gosh,
who've kind of, gone away and worked at other companies, but are, still friendlies and stuff like that. I mean, like across the board, it's one of those things where it's been a really nice moment to reflect on everyone who's touched these channels, everyone that we've gotten the opportunity to work with, favorite moments. Like I'm starting to see like people circulating favorite moments, or like, this is a weird out-of-pocket MatPat moment. Dude,
I've seen a lot of like, my favorite moment from whatever channel, and they're sometimes very deep cuts. I'm like, I know that's us, but like, wow, that you really pulled that one out of the vault, man. That's amazing. It was some random episode from 7 years ago, and it's at the 14-minute mark or something like that, and you're like, all right, that's great.
No, so it's been a lot of fun, and like I said in the video, I'm excited for the next couple of weeks to be able to continue celebrating and remembering and thinking through all of this stuff, and and then moving on, and seeing what the next evolution kind of stands for. So really excited about that. But without any further ado, like I said, I think the subreddit had a bunch of stuff for us to talk about. So Ash, you pulled up a couple things?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Sweet.
So, hey, if you have anything over the, as always, the subreddit, it's a great repository for things if you're not on X anymore, or if you're looking for a place to just engage with other theorists. Like, I love our subreddit. It's a wonderful place. We also got an incredible Discord on there as well. So hopping on over. Starting off strong. The hopeful claim, 7205. It hurts. 19,000 file, 19,000 upvotes.
Wow.
Yes, it hurts, but it's to be respected.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the sentiment of a lot of this, right?
That's really nice. That's really good to see.
I've been feeling the same way, and I tried to express this in the video, but sometimes when it's the right time, and you feel it, and you have to act on that. And it's hard sometimes, and it's scary a lot of times to kind of take that leap and make that step. But if you don't seize the opportunity, a lot of times that opportunity passes by. I actually have a story about that as it relates to you. I almost proposed to Stephanie weeks before we actually proposed.
Oh, man.
Which
resulted in the almost engagement clock.
The almost engagement clock.
Own.
Yeah, do you want to tell it?
No, please.
I need to go full screen for this. Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
I mean, but
Ash, do you know this story?
No.
on the topic.
This is a classic.
Oh my gosh.
On the topic of knowing when the time's right and seizing the opportunity, this is a time when the time was absolutely right, and I just fumbled the ball. Oh, and I regret it to this day.
But look, you made up for our engagement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So basically, Steph and I were living in New York, poverty-stricken, just scraping by, and
But Matthew saved up, like personally scrimped and saved to take me out on a holiday day.
Yeah, I took Stephanie out on this really nice, like, wintry holiday day where we were going and doing kind of like a lot of stereotypical cute coupley things all around the city, right? And we end up the evening outside of Lincoln Center, which is where they do the ballet. It's where they do the opera That's where like Juilliard's music school is.
But before that,
yeah,
also
please.
though, like I mean, there was this was like a full day. So it was my favorite little tea shop in the morning where we got like tea and a scone. He took me ice skating in Central Park, which I don't think I'd ever been ice skating before, and it was like my first time ever ice skating. We went ice skating. We went to Dylan's Candy Bar, which was a thing at the time. It's not open anymore. And we like went
Is
to
it
some
not
of our.
open anymore?
No, I don't think so. I know.
No.
I know.
Oh, that's sad. It was like a little candy wonderland. It was like a mini Willy Wonka.
It was amazing.
A teeny Willy. Anyway.
We went to some of our favorite spots. And the big thing was he took me on a carriage ride, which is one of those things that's like, it's kind of expensive in New York. Expensive being a relative term. I think it costs like $35 or something.
No, I think
50?
it's like, well, here's the thing. I think back then it was like $35. I'm sure now it's like 50 to 75.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money, but it was like one of those things where we had always wanted to do it, and so he took me on this carriage ride, and then we ended up
in front
Lincoln
of
Center.
Lincoln Center, and it's evening, and it's been a cold day, but it hasn't been snowy or anything. And then we're outside of Lincoln Center. It's a beautiful plaza area. There's a gorgeous fountain.
And there are fountains in the middle and stuff.
There's fountains, and the lighting is beautiful. And then all of a sudden, to like cap off this like magical day, it starts to snow.
And the snow is like all glinting, and the fountain, the lights, and the fountain, and it's real magic. It's real magic.
It was real magic, and it was one of those things where I was a couple weeks away from proposing. Like, I knew it was coming, but there were some things that I wanted to do in anticipation of that, right? Like, I wanted to do our proposal video, which is still on the channel, actually, the proposal video. And there were things like setting up like a retrospective of our relationship, like as a museum around a thing. And so I had this plan in my mind of, this is the way it's going to happen. This is the way it's going to go down. And so, I'm like, this is it. This is the moment. Like, all the stars have aligned. I need to get down on one knee and ask the question, even though I don't have a ring. And this is it. And I didn't do it. Even though as the magical snow is falling around in frund of it was like the stereotypical movie.
And I'm standing there being like,
I know. and so knowing that I completely biffed everything.
and then later, the capstone. Can I tell the capstone?
Please.
The capstone. So I'm there. I'm like, he's taken me on a day where we've done all of our favorite things around a magical city. We're in this snow-filled wonderland. Surely he will propose. And then, like in Legally Blonde, he does not. And then I'm like, okay.
Not like in Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde, they broke up. So let's call it.
But he didn't, and I was like, okay. And then we go back to our apartment, and our apartment, which is like it's a grad student apartment. By total dumb luck, it's like on the 19th floor, and it has this amazing view out over Manhattan, the Chrysler Building. You can see like the Empire State Building, all this stuff. It's an amazing view.
It was pretty good student housing.
We're sitting down on the floor, and we're looking out the window, and I'm like, maybe he just wanted us to be like at home to propose. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, so what's up? And then he hands me a box from Tiffany's.
Oh, God.
From Tiffany's. And I'm like, this is it. And so I open, even though I was like, we definitely can't afford Tiffany's. I have no idea what this is. And so I open it up, and it's a clock. A small tabletop timepiece. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's a clock. And I'm like, why? and he's like, I know that you always admired the beautiful windows at Tiffany's, and obviously we can't afford anything from there, but someone gave me this clock once, and I thought you would like it. And that was the end of the day.
Yeah, it It was a re-gifted Tiffany's clock. Someone gave me randomly as like a Christmas gift. It was very strange.
A graduation? I think the story was graduation.
It was graduation. That's what it was. It was a graduation gift. That's right. They gave me this Tiffany's clock as a graduation gift, which was very nice of them, but also very random. Because college kids, they really need Tiffany's clocks in their dorm room. But no, it was very thoughtful, and so I held on to it and never knew what to do with it. But when Steph and I were living in New York, obviously you're walking up and down like Fifth Avenue and seeing all the nice stores and store windows, and you repeatedly said like, oh my gosh, like, the Tiffany's box is iconic and everything in these store windows are beautiful and this and that. And I'm like, so I had planned to capstone this day as like, I'm giving you this thing from Tiffany's, not realizing the expectations that I had set up on that day. Like, that was one of those, like, MatPat just being completely oblivious to everything. I feel like I'm more aware of, I learned a lot from that day. And one of them is, Carpe Diem seize the day, even though you might have the best laid plans, or like you have this idea of like how everything is supposed to go and fit together and this and that. Sometimes you just got to throw those plans out the window and seize the moment.
I love that we told that story about seizing the moment, like as the moment is happening. And the retirement video that went up yesterday was literally planned in advance for like a year.
Yeah. I mean,
it was,
right.
It had been in the works for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can seize the moment though, too. Like we've tried to seize as many moments as possible over the last year, knowing that this is coming. So we kind of created our own moment kind of thing. Exactly. And it did lead to a kind of a crazy year last year where we really tried to do everything, go to everything, take every single opportunity. And that was awesome. And it's so worth it. And I'm so glad we did it. But yeah, it was a lot of seizing. There was a lot of seizing. Where's the almost proposal clock at this point, Steph?
What a great question. I'm not sure.
You don't even know.
No. I think it's like next to a jewelry box. Like it has a little place of honor.
She thinks. Yeah, place of honor. She thinks. My almost proposal clock. Will you take this clock? Symbolizes the time with us. So anyway, seize the moment, friends. Long story short, goodbye, Internet. We got through one of them.
Okay, great.
Next up. Future GTLive, this is Pedro Storm Rage, yes.
This is worth talking about. I did see some questions about this like on Twitter and stuff yesterday.
I'll cut to the chase. Is there any chance Matt continues doing GTLive in a longer term capacity? He said he'll be on GTLive now for the foreseeable future, probably until the end of the summer. That's less than a year. He also summoned us. So future GTLive, yes, it is still going to be continuing as a channel, absolutely. Yes. And I am going to be on it for the foreseeable future, but similar to the channels, right? Like there will come a moment where, like, I think all of us collectively will be like, hey, this makes sense. Like this feels like the right time. And don't worry, we'll give you advance notice on that. At which point Ash will still be here and will serve as continuity, and
probably there'll be a transition as well. And that's the thing. I think with the main channels too, obviously, there's a lot that goes into planning a transition like the one that's coming up with the new hosts of the main channels. But you don't pull that trigger and you don't make that choice until you know it's safe and it's the right choice to make, right? You don't put new hosts for new channels in a position where they're not ready or where the channels aren't ready for them. And GTLive, I think, is the same way, right? Mm-hmm. There won't be a handoff on this channel until the channel is ready and whoever is going to be here on the couch is also ready.
Yeah. And so
you can't do that.
And
it'll
so
be a familiar face.
Yeah, and so there's a couple things as far as like what's up in the air. Like, does Tom come in and sit on the couch, and then is he the voice of GTLive? Is it Ash, who has been a staple of this, coming out from behind the camera, even though you do, but like coming out from behind the camera and leading the charge, and then you have kind of a new Ash in your place. Or is it
Ash Jr.?
Yeah, Ash Jr. My personalities continue to spawn others.
Exactly, yes. Ash 2.0.
Yeah, or a rotation of the creative directors. It's one of those things that, because right now also we're the only people in North Carolina. Like all the creative directors who are taking over the individual channels. There's two of them are in California, one's in England, and one's in South Carolina. So no one's here.
And a lot of them are shifting, right? Like there are some cross-country moves coming. There's a cross-ocean move hopefully coming. There's a lot happening with everybody. And so we're going to kind of see where everybody lands and where the channels land.
Yeah,
and
but
it'll be good.
But like Stephanie said, it's no move. That's one of the reasons why I was a bit vaguer about GTLive is we, similar to everything else, like you make the move when the move is right, and when everyone feels good about it, and when everyone feels trained up and ready to take on that like mantle and that responsibility. And right now, because there's a lot of things shifting, and because honestly we want this to stay as stable and reliable as possible as the channels shift, we don't want this to deviate in any way, right? We want this to kind of be the bedrock of, hey, as new voices kind of come up on the large channels, here we are kind of like still hanging out on the couch with MatPat, with Ash, with Stephanie, you know, popping in hopefully more often, things like that.
Just creeping along behind the sofa somewhere.
Making it valid that we're still using that intro. And so that way you still have kind of like a safe space, a place to kind of like know that this is always going to be consistent until we've achieved a new equilibrium, at which point then it's like, okay, let's figure out kind of what those next steps are. So that's the plan for GTLive. I hope that makes sense. Ash, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes total sense.
Cool.
And just for the record, regardless of what my place is on GTLive, I will be here, and I am so excited and grateful to keep this channel going throughout. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot of fun through the end of the summer, you and I, and then whatever happens after that, it's still going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So super grateful for this, and super grateful for y'all at home for your support. So thank you.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Right? Cool. Next up. By Emilian301 with the last video. This song hit real different now. Yeah. So now all of a sudden, friends.
This song has, I continue, even like, after being, like, even after it's been out a little while, I still see this song popping up in a lot of places.
I gotta say, so now friends, now that you know kind of that this announcement is happening and has happened and this transition is happening, I've known that it's been coming for a long time, right? And so go back through the last 6, 8, 12 months of episodes and you'll see. Like, similar to how people went back and saw, like, oh, they were teasing style theory for a long time, and oh, they were teasing food theory for a long time.
There are little bits and pieces.
There's little hints of some of the projects that we did, some of the things that I've said. I mean, there's a reason why we've had kind of a couple of hard-hitting meta theories on both game theory and film theory about the state of the digital ecosystem and the changes that are happening there, because we've known, like, hey, our chance to talk about this stuff is changing, and
talk about it now.
Talk about it now, and also like this helps explain some of our perspective on where things are. We're overthinkers, right? And we're always programming things, and so there's always a little bit of clues of what's coming next in the things that we're doing. And I tell you, every time I listen to the song, before it was really, I cry. Like, I literally do. Like, I look at this song, and I even think about the song, and it makes me, it's been a very emotional time, but...
The last 24 hours have been a lot of tears. I'm surprised.
It's been over 24
Are there any
hours.
left in there? Are there any left?
I'm so dry.
I know.
But at the same time, the only thing I can drink is water, and not Diet Coke or anything, and so I have a lot of water in my body.
We can't get through the emotions by numbing them with sugar.
This song is just so incredible and stupendium. They're such an incredible musician. It was such a wonder to work with them and then to work with them again as part of the Streamy Awards, because the song, a little theorizing, predated. You know, we were working on this song prior to me inviting them to perform at the Streamies, but because I love their work so much, I'm like, hey, since you're doing such an awesome job there, do you want to do the Streamies as well? And they were like, yeah, absolutely.
They were so impressive, and also did the Streamies work on pretty darn short notice.
Oh, there was like no time.
Incredibly short notice, and turned around something that was awesome, and that was like, I think it was one of the most fun things I've seen at the Streamies in a long time. And they did just a fantastic job.
But I look at this, and one of the things that I think was important with this song was, and knowing that this transition was coming, was in one song distilling down like the history of the channels, or at least like my time on the channels and how they've evolved and how they've changed. And I think Greg did an amazing job with it. And yeah, it's again one of those things where I've been trying to figure out ways to incorporate it again into an episode or into the finale or something like that, because it means so much to me. And I think really is just like a perfect swan song to everything that I see that we've done on across all the channels. So so good one. Sorry, I'm gonna cry a lot over the next 10 weeks. It's amazing. Alternate universe. Goodbye, Matt Pat. So Yeah, I saw a lot of
Saw a
salutes.
lot of these,
I saw a
yeah.
lot of salutes, which I appreciate. Thank you, everyone. I think I've done my duty. My service as Theorist is almost at its completion.
Service to the internet.
Service to the internet. I've done my best. I hope I've done you proud. Groove 79. I'll miss Matt Pat. Oh, does your dog bite? No, but it can hurt you in other ways. That's a brutal dog, man.
Oh, right?
That
Also
dog,
very articulate.
I was gonna say that dog has got some great taste in YouTube content. Let me tell you, that is top tier. Good job, dog. Wouldn't that be weird if all of a sudden you're like approaching an animal, like looking to give it a little rub, a little doggo rub? This is a doggo rub right here.
Is it?
You know, like, oh, who's a good?
You can tell we have a cat.
Ash is giving me the strangest look. Like, is this the dog? No, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You know, like a little head, little chin scratchels.
That's a very large chin for a dog. I'll put that out there right now.
This is a Doberman we're talking about. Yes. You know, maybe a pit bull.
Doggo.
So whatever the heck you do with a dog, you do that, and then the dog does.
So, Ollie, true story, terrible with animals.
Yeah, really bad.
He's like, I petted Skip, and it's like, bud, it's a stroking pattern. So maybe he got it from me. Ah, doggo.
Yeah, that's genetic.
Give you the like coming at you like a jump scare for animals. A moment of silence, please. Blue Moon Soulfire. Oh, goodbye, internet. Oh, I saw a lot of this too. Where, you know, it was fun to see people using all the different IP that we've covered. Because I think, again, like, that's one of the reasons why I love the channels, and I think one of the reasons the channels are so fun is because we're constantly bopping around between all these different IP. Like, yeah.
Everything from Mario to Marvel.
Right? Oh, yeah, I like that. That was nice. Pink Sauce to Petscop.
There we go.
Pink Sauce to Poppy Playtime.
Yeah. We're trying to incorporate
Style Theory. TikTok to Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. Is there another channel that I don't know about?
Yes, the secret channel.
Wouldn't that be great to do a game theory on Tamagotchi?
Probably not.
Dude, come on. I feel like where's your yes and spirit?
Your 90s are showing.
They had a resurgence a couple of years ago.
They did. It's true.
But no, I feel like if anyone could make a theory about Tamagotchi, I feel like we could do it.
Oh, the evolutionary lines of Tamagotchi.
Exactly.
And like why certain features are accumulated based on the way you treat them.
Or just could your Tamagotchi survive if they were real?
Ooh, and that gives me a good opportunity to tell my Tamagotchi story about how I killed it within like 48 hours.
Oh my God.
Because it would just keep waking me up in the middle of the night.
Oh.
And my parents were really mad, and I was really mad, and we're like, let it die. No, that wasn't exactly how it went, but basically that's the TLDR version of it. But no.
And Matthew never had a pet again.
Yeah, Skip.
Yep.
He's doing great. Oh, who's the little boy? Who's the little guy? But no, I think that's it's been nice to see people celebrating from the different IP. It's also, I think, one of the reasons why we are both loved and hated by so many, because we hop between so many different things. And so anyway. Oh, this is from Cremator TV. It's happening out there right now throughout many communities. The impact that this man has had. Oh. FNAF fans. I like that the FNAF fans are represented by an animal. Like that feels fitting. You know,
is it an animatronic, but it's not a tronic? It's just an animal.
It's an anim. Yeah. Zelda fans, Mario fans, Solid Snake, like war battered veterans, like a classic retro style, and then Undertale fans. Yeah, were Undertale fans on board with this one?
I don't know. They were more just like goodbye.
Right. I was gonna say everyone else is giving me the salute, and they're like,
No, those aren't the fingers that they're showing, actually.
Well, joke's on them. No, it's not a joke. That's actually one of the ones that we have coming up in the final slate of episodes is after
We're testing fate.
Yeah, I know, right?
Big time.
Won't fate to the win. But we have a Delta Room theory coming up because we never ended up talking about Chapter 2, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I would like to talk about Chapter 2. It's tricky because I think it released like 4 years ago, something crazy like that. And it's one of those things where because it's a very, very theorizing community that they have covered, I think, a lot of things. And with 4 years without a whole lot of substantial updates or like about the new game outside of like the Spampton ARG, a lot has been covered. So finding things that catch our fan base up to like, hey, here's where the game is, but then also things that like, here's an angle that people haven't covered yet, or here's something new that hasn't been talked about, has been a little bit tricky. But I think we have a good handle on it. I'm pretty happy with how that one's turning out. But yeah, so that one's coming, which I'm excited about. But yeah, it's nice to see. Like I said, it's cool to see kind of a retrospective of everything.
I also just like that the FNAF fans have the back leg salute. I think that makes a big difference. the foot up to face, the foot to face salute.
Right, there you go. Oh man, it's hot. Toby 5, thanks. No.
Yeah, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Not at all.
What?
Oh,
Right?
What?
that's nice.
The check mark is there.
No, that's awesome. That's cool. Good. Hey, well, good that we're on the same page here.
Right.
I was doing the Deltarune thing anyway. But that's cool. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
That makes me.
That feels like a full circle.
That feels like closure.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too.
That's cool.
Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah. See, Sans is Nest, and so is Papyrus. That's what I missed this whole time. Everyone thought that the Sans is Nest theory was ridiculous, and it's because it wasn't the Sans and Papyrus is Nest theory.
Oh boy, I'm so glad we're opening this box.
This is what I missed, guys. This is why everyone thought it was so funny. Is because it was so ridiculous. They're like, no, obviously, Sans plus Papyrus equals Gaster, and it's Gaster is Ness. Take that. Slap a thumbnail on that one. Gaster is Ness.
I like the calculus that we're doing to still get to Ness.
That's wonderful. I love it.
Oh, yes!
Thank you, Toby. That's really nice. Sir Untouchable, introducing the 4 new horse. I hadn't thought about it as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Do you know?
That's great.
Do you know that their initials spell salt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they now?
It's only not at all related to this, but it also combines them in an interesting way. See, it's Santi, Amy, Lee, Tom. Salt.
Wow.
Someone also pointed out that it's last.
Ooh.
But,
That's
but which goes maybe the apocalypse.
yeah.
Last.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's dark.
Right?
That's cool. I like that. We should. I think we need to lean in on this 4 horsemen of the apocalypse thing.
Right?
Yeah, that's fun.
I
like
kind of
that
like that.
too.
What's GTLive, Ash? If you were what is
Salt
it?
E.
E.
There's not. But
Right. There's no.
My name is Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to swap the first letter of your name to make this work.
Anything for the content, man. Yes.
There it is. Yes, and. What is it? It's pestilence, war. Shoot.
Plague?
It's plague.
Hold on,
Right.
let's look it up.
Plague, pestilence, war, famine.
For
Famine, pestilence,
of the apocalypse.
war. Plague? It is plague, isn't it?
okay, they are death,
Oh, death.
famine, war, and conquest.
No, get out of here.
No, there's got to be something.
Oh, what is that?
Hold on. What are the four?
Is that Bard giving you that answer?
Right, probably. What do they mean? Okay, wait. Personifications
this
of
is just
war,
the-
famine, plague, and death.
Yeah,
war.
war.
War. Okay, war.
War, famine, plague, death.
Okay,
yeah,
let's
so
see.
okay, let's assign.
Let's
well,
see.
food theory is obviously famine.
Famine.
That kind of goes without
Definitely.
Right.
saying. War, famine, plague,
Plague.
death.
Oh.
I feel like game theory is death. Like
I
literally
wanted to
everyone
give-
on game theory is like so and so is
I
dead.
feel like that was my
Yeah.
impulse too. I was like, game theory should be death, which leaves us with war and plague.
I think plague should be style theory because some of these looks are sickening.
Yeah. Oh!
Oh,
I was
there
thinking
we
the creams
go.
are going to give you rashes, but yeah, that's great too. And then and I thought film was going to be. It's funny because I thought film was war anyway because I see red and I
Right,
think war.
exactly.
I also think like the film commentary community sometimes can be pretty aggressive in their stances
Yes.
about like this movie was really good. I completely disagree. You know nothing about
They
that.
fit.
So,
They absolutely
actually fit very well.
This is perfect.
yeah, that's awesome.
I would like to say,
knew?
before we move on,
Yes.
I think y'all should scroll down because there was a very funny comment.
welcome to our game theorist. Make sure you read the rules.
Right below. Right below.
Guy with glasses, guy with glasses, guy with glasses. Pretty goth girl. That feels pretty fitting for the internet.
Is this a dating show now? I also like that. It looks like what's the one where they have the three guys and the girl, and she asks them questions across the divide. Blind date? Is that what it? No.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Oh, are you talking about Love Connection?
Love Connect? Is that what it is?
I think
Match
it's Love
Game?
Connection.
Whatever it is.
No, Match Game is not a dating show.
Oh.
I believe it's Love Connection.
Love Connection?
I believe.
And she's like, Bachelor number one.
Oh, sorry, or the dating game. I think
Maybe
it might be.
that's
No, Love Connection is the one where they go on dates and then have like a talk show back.
Yeah.
It's the dating game where it's like,
where
Bachelor number one.
Bachelor number one, where would you take me on our first date? Like that one?
Mm-hmm. That's funny. That's great. I like it. I also like that they chose a picture of Amy where like she's got the curved nails, which feels very plague-like.
Yes.
Like, sickening. Love it.
Along with the fact that yesterday was the 666th upload on the channel, I think we're tying into a theme here. I think we should just lean in.
Right, 666. Oh my gosh, we plan things. Thank you for everything, man. Oh, okay, for this. I saw this. Ludwig.
I saw this. This is so cute.
I don't know if Ludwig created it, but Ludwig, I saw send it to me on Twitter.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is so sweet.
This one made me choked up.
That really made
Yeah, where it's Matt Pat leading the charge and then getting old. Grandpa Pat being put out to pasture by his turtles.
By his turtles.
By his turtles. Tom Lee, Auntie Amy. There it is.
Wait. Now we have to decide which would be which turtle.
What Ninja Turtle? I like that we're just shipping them all this entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Leonardo is definitely Tom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I would say...
Is Donatello Santi?
No, Donatello is Lee.
You think so?
So my gut impulse, this actually fits very cleanly.
Okay.
Actually, so leader, responsible, takes his leadership duties to an extreme degree. That's absolutely Tom as Leonardo. Wacky, food-driven guy who is kind of off the cuff and a little bit random.
Yes.
That's Santi.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's Michelangelo. Mm-hmm. You have
right, of course.
Donatello as the smart, studied one who is pedantic and goes really deep into...
What a kind thing to say about Lee.
What pedantic? Is that not... Like very detail oriented?
Yeah, no detail oriented.
Right?
Detail oriented for sure. Yeah.
Very fixated on like precise details.
Absolutely.
And like one of the notes that I give to Lee a lot is like, hey, we're using like really large words. We need to simplify it because this is spoken word. But like that's absolutely Lee as Donatello. And then Raphael, the angry I will cut you one.
Oh,
that's Amy.
That's Amy.
That is Amy. Did you see her nails? Like one of her catchphrases is "I will cut you." That is it. Like the one who comes in, takes charge, and gets it done, and will make sure
takes no prisoners.
Takes no prisoners. That is Raphael and also Amy.
Yes.
It fits very well. So that's actually incredible. That's really funny. I hadn't thought about this. Die Gamer 23, 25. I'd like to say, oops. Was it an oops? Or was it all part of this Horseman of the Apocalypse theme?
Was it?
666, man.
Who knows?
Isn't that weird? It's almost like we could have started an ARG with this. We didn't. If I had started an ARG with this one, I would tease it and actually like let it out there. But no, this hasn't started anything. There might be one that starts at some point. I was
going to say, maybe.
There might be one that starts, but
9 weeks.
We've got some time. We'll see. Darth J. Mango. After all this time, I just wanted to thank him for some of the best content on YouTube. Thanks, Matt Pat. No, stay with me. I did see the Batman circulating a little bit. Don't leave me. Oh, yeah. Gotta fade away, my friends. You and me. I like how we're just plastered on there.
Meh.
Yeah. I ain't fading away.
You're like,
I'm not okay with this hug, guys. Leave me alone. Hey, it's another one.
Hey!
It's the end of an era. Objective Wheel 627. Tom Scott and Matt Pat. Yeah, right. So, fun fact. I guess it's a fun fact. I knew that Tom Scott, because Tom Scott didn't make any. In case you don't know, Tom Scott is large education-based channel where he does like a cool deep dive, like mini documentary into something every single week.
I would imagine he's got like a good deal of crossover with our audience.
Oh, I would assume so. Yeah. But at this point at YouTube, like
Everything is very splintered.
Yeah, everything is very splintered and fractured, and the silos really run deep. And so, on one hand, you would think that, like, I think our audience would really dig. Like, I think you guys would really dig Tom Scott.
If you don't know him, look him up. He's great, and he does awesome videos.
Last VidCon, Steph and I played a game where we were walking around VidCon, and it felt like we kept seeing Tom Scott, and so we made it a game called Spot Tom Scott.
And we have videos where we're like, spot Tom Scott, there he is.
He's crossing the street, Tom Scott, spot Tom Scott.
Zoom in on him. We really wanted to talk to him, but first of all, we always were like spotting him at 50 yards away, and so we weren't close enough to be like, Tom. But also, I don't know, it's actually really hard to just drum up a conversation with a stranger, even if you're like, hey, I know exactly who you are. Sometimes that actually makes it weirder. So it's one of those things where we just didn't say anything to him, I don't think.
No.
The whole time?
No.
The whole time. Yeah, it was the whole time.
No, but we did
film him from a distance, kind of creepily.
Well, and afterwards, we ended up talking very briefly, where I sent him a message on Twitter.
That's right.
And
That's
so we
right.
talked a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're good now. So now next time we see him, we don't have to be like creepers about it.
That's fine.
But so obviously, Tom was pretty clear where he said last year, like, this is my last year, and 2024, I'm leaving. Like, he was very like upfront about that.
But we didn't know when that last video was going to happen.
Yeah, I guess we probably could have, because he uploads basically same time, same day for years. So we could have, but like, it was one of those things where it kind of caught me by surprise. Like, I knew it was coming, but I hadn't really thought about its release in relation to our release. Because we were so fixated on us and making sure we got it right and all that stuff, that I didn't think like, oh, and then all of a sudden his release like 3-4 days, maybe a week before. When did his release? Because ours got delayed by 2 days just because I needed to edit it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I was rambling for a long time, but I got to the points. But it was one of those things where his video released, and I'm like, oh no, I forgot about that. And now this is like a really good goodbye video, and I hope that it doesn't feel like we are now piggybacking off of him,
like coattail riding,
I didn't want it to shine poorly against us, or make it feel like
compared,
or that people would think of it as an arbitrary decision. Like, I think my fear was when Tom Scott did his, if we then immediately followed up with ours, people might get the impression of like, oh, they just did this because Tom did it. And that's why I kind of make that opening joke in there about like, blame Tom Scott, because I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged the existence of that, but also disown the fact that our decision was based on his.
We even like in the, whatever it was, the video, the meta theory that we did in December.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, this isn't a serious couch time video. We already have that scheduled for January. Like this was much further in the works.
Again, us seeding details into previous theories of like, oh.
And it was supposed to release on January 6th. We just had a couple of delays.
Yeah, we had a couple delays there.
Production.
But yeah, it was one of those things where I forgot what I was going to say.
Anyway, Tom Scott, we saw that. It was a fantastic video.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So good. And so touching and like just so awesome. And you're just like, yeah, man, good for you. You go. That's awesome.
We've made mention of, in past meta episodes, we've made mention of like, hey, a dam is going to burst at some point where a lot of people are 10 years or more into this journey, right?
Yeah, things come in generations in lots of different like types of media and stuff like that. But YouTube is no different from that. But it is interesting because there are no like seasons of shows. There's no end to like the episodes that you produce for a YouTube channel. It's sometimes really hard to find that cutoff on the creator side, and also just as an audience, like to figure out where like those generations are as well.
Yeah, and especially unless you are thinking ahead with your content, like that's the other thing, right? Like YouTube and digital video in general functions on this like, again, we always liken it to a treadmill. You're always thinking about the next week, the next week, the next week, the next upload, the next upload, next upload. But to really determine when the time is right to go, it kind of requires you to look ahead and kind of figure out like, unless you're just like, well, next week I'm done, but really like it kind of determines you like, hey, I need to look ahead and kind of figure out how I'm going to get to this end point.
Or like get the stuff done that you want to get done beforehand, and make sure that you don't like put up a video and you're like, this is my last video. And then the following Tuesday, you're like, Ah, shoot, I forgot that one.
I've seen a lot of people talking about like, hey, why are all these videos happening right now? And it really is a confluence of a lot of factors, right? You have, like you said, like this is really, because YouTube at this point is getting close to 20 years old, but really it's getting close. It's not quite there, but this is the first time in history where any sort of exodus of any large scale creators that you would potentially know about could happen, right? Like people are just kind of collectively reaching that point in their lives where I've gotten older, I've, got a family now, the demands of the platform are just hard. So like there's the personal side of things and just the aging up. Like this is the first generation of creators to actively leave. Because even though YouTube is like 20 years old, the first 5 years, say 3 to 5 years, again, going back to our generations of YouTube video, the first couple years of it were the viral video sensations. They weren't people who were regularly uploading. They were Double Rainbow. They were Numa Numa. They were all the kind of like, Keyboard Cat. They were one-off viral videos, but they weren't, doing it on a regular basis. You had Smosh and Jenna Marbles and Ray William Johnson and stuff kind of paved the way into like, what if we upload regularly at that point? But this is kind of getting to that point where Gen 3, where YouTube, being a YouTuber really was solidified and formalized. Like the first like Ray William Johnson, Jenna Marbles, Smosh, all those guys in the early days, iJustine, solidified like, oh, you can make a job here. That job will be called YouTuber. And then Gen 3 was really like, hey, YouTubing is a thing. These are kind of like the founding fathers, or like a lot of the like foundational elements of defining what that job actually now looks like, and kind of figuring out the realm of where that hits, And so Gen 3 was where it solidified, and why now a lot of Gen 3 is kind of phasing out of the platform. So you have that. You have changes on YouTube in general, which we've talked about in past meta theories, which has made it harder and more demanding as a job. So I think a lot of people are starting to feel a lot of pressure there, a lot of burnout. It's difficult to scale a business, and so that's really hard. And then also like just in general, like I don't know. So I think the platform is one. I think like the timing is right for a lot of people. The personal element is right for a lot of people, and also a lot of those like early YouTubers have been like, hey, do I need to do this as a living anymore? Probably not. Can I, reduce my upload cadence or whatever and pivot to something that's maybe more fun or creatively different, but isn't my main format? Yeah, maybe. So I think this is the year that there's going to be a lot more of these. And I made mention of this in the announcement video, but I think the dam is going to burst in a lot of ways.
I'm curious. I'm curious about the forms that those will take, because I think some of them will be like, I'm only going to upload like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Or some of them will be like, I'm going to take a long break now and then see how I feel about this in like a year or something.
Yeah, it's like a quiet quitting kind of thing.
There could be a little wave of that. I don't know. I'm curious.
Well, and the last thing I'll put out there too is like there's never been a format for this, right? Like again, because this is the first generation to do it, people have quit along the way, right? But there's never been like a solid way of doing it. There's never been like a roadmap or a blueprint of like, oh, this is the way that I should pursue this. And it's been uncharted territory. You needed a couple people to start kind of like paving the way of saying like, hey, this is a good way to exit versus this. Most of the exits are like bad exits, to be honest, and exiting because they have to, because the internet has pushed them out in a lot of ways. And so you're starting to see a generation of YouTubers carving off what those exits can look like, and paving the way for the next generation to know how to do it and then evolve it, just like content was in the early days. What does YouTube content look like? We throw stuff up there and then you refine it, and it evolves and it grows and changes. And this is the first generation of like leaving content, and it's going to grow and evolve and change and things like that.
And people will figure it out, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out too.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the process of figuring it out right now. So, but yeah, so I think that's really interesting too. So it is like, so you're not wrong. I think it is truly an end of an era as kind of like YouTube as an ecosystem solidifies itself as an entertainment platform, and it hasn't gotten to that ending part yet. So, last thing on that is the destigmatization of leaving the platform, because there was in the early days, just like there was a stigma against taking brand deals at one point, there was also a stigma against stopping uploading.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
actually.
that was the one thing that I had in the back of my mind that I did want to bring up as I was looking at that, is for a while there was that idea of like, hey, you're abandoning your community, right?
I think do you remember Equals 3? Of course you do. Like
Yeah,
Ray
Ray
William Johnson and stuff. This was like way back in the day. People were really mad when he left and when he brought someone else in to do Equals 3. I think that's one of those examples of like people were just very, very upset. And for some justified reasons, but also just like they felt personally affronted by it. And I think the platform has evolved pretty significantly since then.
The rug was definitely pulled on them, and I think like Ray, there were definitely ways that Ray could have done that one better. But it's one of those things where, you didn't know, like you didn't know how to handle this sort of thing, and there wasn't a blueprint. But also, you saw it with brand. I think brand deals are a great parallel to this. Like in the early days when we've been doing this 13 years, we've seen all these evolutions. In the early days, if we did a brand deal, like there was a huge stigma against that. Like, oh, you're a sellout. How dare you? Like, what a ripoff. What a con artist. Like, stop pumping commercials. But nowadays, like it's almost gone like a full 360. And it's like, get your bag. It validates the community. I think there's a bit too many brand deals at this point on YouTube and this and that. Like it's gone a bit too. The pendulum swung a bit really far.
The advertising is really heavy.
It's really heavy at this point, which again goes to like platform changes. But it's one of those things where the community just accepts it, right? Like a mid-roll ad in the middle of a video was one of those things that we would never do.
We were like, no one will keep watching if we put a mid-roll in. No one.
Right.
How dare we? Wouldn't it be funny if there was one that just dropped right now?
Right.
The sentiment has changed a lot. People also they do multiple things while they're watching content. Like, so people like, oh, okay, I'll just step away and get water, or I'm doing something anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll just let this ad play, whatever.
Right. And so now that's been destigmatized. And I think likewise, you're getting to the point where the community knows that this is like they've been immersed in this world. They understand that this is a platform where people are going to come and go, and where content is going to come and go. And so I think in a lot of ways, this is one of the first times in history, maybe the last like 2-3 years or whatever, is really where the door has truly opened up for people to actually make an exit without angering the people who are kind of there helping them along the way.
Yeah.
So same energy. NFH Don Reddit says, yep, that's my big old face. Oh yeah.
I saw a bunch of these. I saw a bunch of this kind of stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really sweet.
Oh man, am I this generation's Steve? I will say I always did want to be like Steve.
Aww.
I always liked Steve a lot.
Oh, that's great. How can you not like
the
Steve?
idea, right? The idea. He was, I've gone back and watched some Blue's Clues with Ollie when he was younger.
Yes.
And the show holds up, man. Steve is a great performer.
No, Steve is really good. And we do not have a kid who typically like jumps up and down participating in what is on TV. That's the only show where I've ever seen him like respond to the TV like he's talking to Steve.
I was actually shocked when Steve's like,
shocked.
Do you see a clue? And he's like, a clue.
We're literally like, what did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is uncanny.
Oh,
I'm going off to college.
wow.
Going off to college.
I love it.
And Joe's going to take on over. And Joe's going to get completely steamrolled by Blue's Magic Box or whatever the like weird sub-series that they tried to shoehorn in there that eventually killed that show. So Joe was underappreciated, by the way. Joe got a rough bag in that deal, and #justice for Joe.
Right?
Yeah.
Poor Joe.
They tried to shoehorn in the Blue's Clues like puppet show, and it's just weird. And you could see Joe was just sad. It's like, oh, I wanted to be on those adventures too, and they didn't bring Joe, and it hurts sometimes,
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you had this deep
sometimes
personal feeling
a man
for Joe.
is trying to take care of his weird alien dog, and the show just steamrolls him.
I appreciate your compassion in this moment
I
for Joe.
feel strongly about Joe. Here we go. Matt Pat over here making us cry as he tells us how proud he is of us. It's like Steven.
Aww.
And I know that I didn't know if that would sound weird when I said I'm proud of you guys, but I am. When I meet you guys in public, because it's weird because internet guy who is a face on a camera saying I'm proud of you kiddos. I get it, but I meet a lot of you at this point. I see so many of you out there.
Yeah.
And you're awesome. And you're doing such cool things. And I talk to you about your lives.
And you're so nice.
And you're so polite and nice and responsible. And you're great. You are. And so I recognized in that moment when I said, I'm like, is that going to be weird? But I'm like, no, but it's true. At the end of the day, it's just true. It's honest. is that I am. Like, I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm so proud of and happy to meet you when I'm out in public, and it's great. So,
yeah.
Mr. Rogers, wow, is this three generations? That's crazy.
Man.
Oh, man. Matt saying goodbye. And then he's like our grandpa crying as he talks about how proud he is of us. Makes me think about Steve and Mr. Rogers' final goodbye. I'm so proud of you all who've grown up with us. Oh, I guess I am. I guess in my like deep lizard brain, maybe I'd made those connections or something. Oh, that's wild. Oh,
That's really nice.
oh, no, and I'm even following the cool jacket trend that Fred Rogers set
There
back
we
in the
go.
day.
There we go.
There were fewer puppets. I guess we had our version of puppets, which are
The
dancing like PNGs.
The PNGs
That's
are
funny.
the new puppets.
We are like the next evolution of Blue's Clues, then, aren't we? Because Blue is just a PNG jumping around the
There
screen.
you go.
That's weird.
Finding clues.
Yeah.
And
we're
putting and piecing
and we're
together
finding
mysteries.
clues!
Whoa!
Get out of here!
We're just
No.
Blue's Clues this whole time.
Kidding me?
Game theory's just been Blue's Clues forever.
Oh my gosh. That's... What? Game theory is Blue's Clues.
That's a film theory right there.
That is. That's wild. That's wild. That's nuts.
Okay.
I'm absolutely coping right now. This is from November. Great. 2023 was awful. Hope 2024 isn't so bad. 2024 might never take.
Absolutely coping.
Yeah. It's a good jump scare. Yeah, I didn't mean to. Hopefully, I didn't ruin anyone's 2024. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. It's gonna be good. I think we're off to a good start this year. I think 2024 is gonna be great. A lot of good movies coming out. At the very least, a lot of good movies. Dune coming out real soon. Kung Fu Panda 4.
So excited about that.
Very excited about. A lot of good
all
stuff.
Those.
Oxylox. No, the one time I wish something was clickbait. Yeah.
Aww.
Right. I saw. Who was it? Oh, I can't think of who it was. But it's one of my. I forget who it was, but one of my favorite channels uploaded and did one of those like clickbait, like goodbye for now, or like see you later, or like it's the end of the year. And I'm like, no, because I viscerally feel that too when one of my favorite channels uploads, right?
Yeah.
And you feel that stomach drop, and you're like, I can't believe it. I got to click, and then you click, and then they're like, oh, sorry, gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. No, there's a lot of misleads. There's a lot of misdirects out there. No, this was one of those. Well, also we've never done one of those as a true misdirect about like anything around the channel in that way, in hopes that no one has that experience. We have like lots of doom and gloom thumbnails about like the state of the internet. The internet is falling apart. All of YouTube is broken. All this stuff, and like yes, hyperbole.
Yeah.
But not like you've never posted a thumbnail being like I'm dying, and then it's like clickbait or something.
I think the closest maybe that we ever came was like I did like the end of an era or whatever, and I did like the salute off.
Yeah.
But that was the end. So like
that was like
one,
the end of an era of YouTube. Though.
Yeah, but that was an end of an era of YouTube.
Yeah.
But I could see why that one. But like it's one of those things. I think that's the only time that
maybe
we might
that
have gotten
one.
close.
Maybe that one.
But yeah, no, like and that's also why I wanted to start it up front of like, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
Like, let me just tell you the thesis statement at the beginning because I don't want to lead you on. I don't want, drag it out or whatever. Like, here it is. So Jason was like, are you sure? When he saw the edit, he's like, you tell him right up front. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what
you
that's
should.
important.
You should.
You don't want to leave people in limbo.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I'm a grown man. I'm a big adult. I can do this. Oh, yeah.
Aww.
Crying. I saw a lot of like the video that makes you cry, or like he doesn't cry for anything, and then it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just water buckets over here. So
I've been crying. It was raining yesterday.
Oh yeah.
It was raining like a lot. It was torrential
The
downpour.
whole state was crying.
It was like weeping, and I'm like, are those tears or the raindrops on my face?
Oh my gosh, you died.
Forever in our hearts with us. Yeah, this right.
I think it's actually the life of your PNG, which I like.
Oh yeah,
It's the lifespan of your PNG.
Right. How do I look relative to my PNG?
Let me see. You gotta raise the eyebrow. Yeah, try and.
Hold on. Let's get a crisp image of that.
For some reason, you have better posture. He looks a little slouchy at this point.
This was a random photo taken of me at a convention.
I know. I love that we've never also cropped out the lanyard that you were wearing.
Right, the lanyard and the sunglasses. It's so funny. No joke. No, see, again, all of this goes to the passing of the era, and I didn't realize this either. That shirt, which I haven't worn in many, many years, we literally just got rid of that shirt.
Whoa.
Matthew put it on, and I looked at him and I was like, that looks like you from 2008. And so we were like, this is from, we literally like looked at Matthew in this shirt because we were trying on a bunch of stuff.
That.
And we were like, this is you from a different era. This shirt doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's
we
funny.
just
because we're doing
just got rid of
again.
it.
One of the final episodes is a closet-based episode.
We could have eBayed that thing.
Yeah, we raffle it off. Yeah, raffle off Matt Pat's like nasty shirt. It was pretty nasty. I wore it. No joke. That is a shirt that I wore on any of our like exciting safari adventures. So when Steph and I went to Thailand. Before we had Ollie,
Cambodia.
Yeah, when we went to Cambodia, that was one of my like heavy usage shirts because it was like, it was kind of like adventurous and rugged. That was it.
Right.
So, and then I wore it to, Screw Attack Games Convention.
Yeah.
So, rugged, ready to go, and that's where that photo was taken. That's amazing. That's great. So I look wizened. Thanks, Ash.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Cool. No, he raised us when our teachers couldn't. Oh man. It's gonna be copyright music, isn't it? I probably shouldn't do that. Oh no, he's lost. No, he's confused. I'm sorry, I've left you.
Oh,
no! Oh, I'm always here. Always, just like Stephanie, always in the heart.
Always in your heart.
Always in your heart. Like Cheerios. Matt Pat should bring back the OG first final theory. Oh.
We're way ahead of you.
Oh, they're all coming back. The opening joke of Ban Ban is literally, because I recorded it the other day, the opening joke of Ban Ban is literally like, no, stop it. If I'm on my way out, like I'm bringing back the OG intros. And so we're bringing those back. I think I'm going to pick and choose which one, because we've had like 8 intros for Game Theory. I don't know if you realize.
They've evolved.
So it's one of those where I'll pick and choose, I think, which ones go where. And I'm hopeful to get like a bunch of them inserted in different places. But yeah, no, they're coming back. Same with food, same with film. Style, maybe one day we'll have the time to animate that thing. I don't know what comes first in the priority list. Style. We have a theme song. Style Theory or GTLive intro?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like Style deserves, because it hasn't had it yet.
Also,
that's very kind of you.
Also, Style will cut you.
Yeah.
Amy will cut you.
She will. She will. I'll let her.
You're not as
I am open to that.
if it's a combination, if it's a competition between the two of you, she is a little bit more intimidating.
She is. Right. And I'm okay with that.
She has very long, sharp nails, and you are in a very plush fleece right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say you could whack somebody pretty good with the Crocs, but that's probably as much as I would.
Did you just smack me with a little bit of foam?
That's some very light rubber.
Right. Captain Spider-Man 357, a little meme to lighten the mood. Me enjoying the fact that I got a snow day. Oh, no, not the snow day. Oh, I didn't want to ruin the snow day. Oh, what was I thinking?
You ruined a snow day.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst sin.
Yeah.
I apologize. I need to do a YouTube apology video for that one.
Did you hear that they're doing virtual learning instead of snow days now?
Oh, that's so
instead
tragic.
of giving people snow days.
I'm so sorry to
they're
hear
just
that.
being like, oh well, log in.
Wow, I'm so glad that I wasn't a kid with the internet.
Sucks.
That's terrible.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
brutal. I'm so
sorry.
taking away one of those like primal joys of childhood with the snow
yeah.
day. My 11-year-old brother asked me to post this on here for him. He's a big fan, and the two of us even got to meet Matt Pack back in 2022. Oh, 60 years from now. Grandpa, I found this in your old stuff. What is it? Son. Oh, I'm going to tell you a beautiful story.
Oh.
That's awesome. Clap in half. I love that. That's incredible. Oh,
Lovely.
60 years. Oh, man.
60.
Right? I thought 60-year-olds look a little bit more youthful than that, right?
No, that's 60 years from now. You're pushing 100, man.
This isn't me, though. Is this me? Is this the 11-year-old brother?
This is the 11-year-old brother.
Oh, this is going to be me, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, no, I'm going to be... 60 years from now.
We'll both be in our
Cryo
early
tubes.
90s. No,
In our cryo
early
tubes.
90s.
I'm going to be a cryo tube.
Walking around just like everything's fine because it will be.
Right, like Walt Disney.
Our first century almost done.
Oh my gosh.
Final tour of the century. Try not to cry challenge. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This was
the
fun.
chapter. Okay, the chapters were so good. I was not part of the chapter discussion, but you guys did such a good job.
Thanks.
It was you, Sam,
And Ash, yeah.
Ash,
Just the three of us.
Josiah, or just the three of you?
No, it was just
the three of you.
us.
You did so well.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you,
Ripping,
Chef.
although it should
You,
say
Chef.
ripping off the Band-Aid, right? It should say ripping off the Band-Aid? Ripping the Band-Aid? Ripping the Band-Aid is just tearing a Band-Aid in
Which is
half,
difficult because those things are elastic.
right?
A little plasticky.
It's really hard to do that, actually.
Yeah, which highlights how emotionally difficult it was
Yeah.
to create this video.
Yeah, this
Got
is
it.
actually
Okay,
exactly
got it.
what we thought
All right.
of when we did this.
Got
Yeah.
it. But I like the but why
That's
though.
necessary, man.
Yeah.
So fun. I like that it's a recap of a lot of memes that have been important.
Yeah. The Babe Wake Up they announced Matt Pat DLC is it's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah, the Matt Pat DLC was one of those things. Like we were talking about, like Matt Pat Extended Edition, Matt Pat Director's Cut, and then Sam came up with Matt Pat DLC, and I'm like, that's good, but we need a little bit more. And then you came up with the Babe Wake Up, which was solid. And then Try Not to Cry Challenge, which to me, this is literally impossible. Like I've watched this video so many times at this point, just like rehashing it over and over and over again. And every time I'm just like, I have like the tissues next to my desk.
It was also smart to break it up into chapters. It's a long
It's a long go. That was the big thing. Like as I watched it, I'm like, this is wild. And I want to make sure that people can skip to the parts that matter. Diego Garda, I'm going to miss him, but hey.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Scotty, I'm coming for you.
That's great.
I'm coming for you.
Right?
Yep. And we're just going to fill this in as more people retire.
Uh-huh.
You know, eventually.
Tom's back there surfing. Yeah.
Right. You do, Tom Scott's back there on his helicopter flying away.
Yeah. He's doing a beachside flyover.
Oh, no. Seth Everman's like playing on a keyboard, like some jazz music in the background or something. Eventually, one day when Markiplier retires, he'll be somewhere here too.
Yes.
Probably going,
He's digging deeply in the sand.
Yeah. Right? He's just going crazy. No, I populate this over the years.
Do you think Felix will ever retire? Because he's always the one where I'm like, oh, one of these days, like one of these eras, he's just going to be like, yeah, I'm done.
I don't know.
And I mean, he's evolved a lot, right? He doesn't post anything like he used to. And he does these like artistic vlogs now. So it's very different.
We'll see as his son gets older. I think that's one of the big things is... Like, I think for us, we could go for a long time. And I think we could have gone for a long time. But having Ollie and...
That's not blaming him
no,
at all. No, it was the right
Ollie.
Decision with or like regardless of an Ollie status. But
it does.
But it makes a big difference.
But seeing your kid grow up and also seeing your parents grow older gets you to prioritize family in a very special way, and I think in a very important way. At least for me and for Steph. And so I'd be curious to see as his son gets older, how that shifts.
It was also the kind of situation with us where, like, because we have a pretty substantial team around us now, and it's not like we can, I mean, we've never been these kind of people, but we can't like roll out of bed whenever and just do a little work and then just like take the rest of the day or decide whatever. Like we keep very regular hours because people are counting on us to be there when we say we're going to be there, and we have like 1,000 meetings and stuff. And so it's one of those things where it's like with the filming schedule being so intense, there's just no flexibility even to like go to a school event or something like that. We have to like take a full day off to like go and see a Christmas concert or something at our son's kindergarten. Like it's a lot of work to make sure that we're there for him at like, you know, just to cover the bases.
Yeah, you say it's regular hours, but we've never been carefree YouTubers at all. Like
they're regular hours plus extra hours.
We have regular irregular hours.
Yeah.
It's not like we're like, oh, clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5. Like it's clocking in at like as soon as we can.
Yes.
And it's clocking out usually around 2. You know, and interspersed within there is, you know, family time and other things, but it's really
all like meshed
it's
together,
all meshed.
But yeah.
So it's kind of crazy that way.
Yeah.
Say something we dare you. A Theorist charging to fight anyone. Oh, that's
the Theorist army.
That's nice.
I like that they're all like.
I
appreciate that the whole Theorist army likes shorts, high boots, and leather armor. That seems on brand.
I just see that image and I get flashbacks to For Honor and the For Honor episode, which best left unsaid. Not one of the more popular.
Moving on.
Touching on history and comparing historical eras. There's so many different ways to put it. I still like the research that we did for that one, but the historical community was very picky about that.
Yes.
So, and I get it.
It's fine. We're all fine. We made it through.
Disconnect. We made it through. Until we meet again, until we meet again, Grandpappy Patrick, and remember, just the theory. It's time to go.
Oh my gosh, you're dying in this one too.
Was I a good theorist? No. I've told you're the best.
Oh.
Excuse me, Death. I'm told you were the best. Death, why are you not watching? Why are you not like, commenting, and subscribing?
Hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell. It lights up now, okay? It gives you a little dopamine hit with a little explosion because we're all just mindless monkeys typing things because welcome to the internet 3.0. So, Death, get on that, okay? Thank you, Matt, for everything. Fans watching the FNAF movie years later. Oh, no, sad SpongeBob.
Not sad SpongeBob.
I knew that waiter. I get that reference. Oh, yeah, immortalized in the FNAF movie too. That's true.
Maybe you'll get. I don't know. Maybe Scott will let you into the second one.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Now I have more time for it.
There we go.
Maybe he can give me a bigger role.
Wow.
Hello,
Wow.
my name is Matthew Patrick, and I'll be auditioning for the role of
Chica.
Withered Foxy. Sorry, let me take that again. I didn't quite feel the motivation there. Bite the face. Bite the face. Ah! There it is.
That's it. That's it. You're hired.
Sorry for the levels, by the way.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
You're fine.
You turn it as low as possible anyway, so you're like, I'm ready for anything. There you go. Thank you for everything.
Oh, I like this. I like the quad logo, like the combo logo there. That's nice.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that covers a lot of stuff. Thank you for your thoughts and for sharing this. And again, like I said, even though this is a very sad video and one that was very important, it's just the beginning of the end. And that's the thing that I keep telling people over here too, where it's like, it feels very conclusive, but this is kind of the lead up to that final stretch, right? So I didn't want to just rip off the Band-Aid and then like be like, peace, bye.
Yeah.
Like I wanted there to be time to kind of like process, to have a bit of a closing journey, a finale to this.
Everyone gets their say. Everyone gets to have input. No one feels like they're like left on a cliffhanger. Nothing like that. We're gonna be tying up as many of the loops as possible, and it should be really fun next couple of months.
Yeah, I think the rest of January and February and early March is going to be really, really good. Yeah. When I look at the programming calendar for January, February, and then like leading up to the March one, I'm excited about it. Yeah. There are ways that we could definitely optimize it better. You know, where it's like, oh, well, that video probably won't perform, and oh, that one no one's going to care about, whatever. But it's like, it's our content. You know, it's like the ones that we've wanted to do for a long time. Like you've got a Princess Bride short, I think, that we're working on, which is cool.
All sorts of selfish content coming up.
I've got a Whose Line Is It Anyway film theory, which I've had forever, that I've always wanted to do, that no one will watch, but I am so hyped for because I've wanted to do it. And we're going to try to make sure that we don't kill the channels as well. Like we've programmed it in a way where it should ebb and flow, but it should be a lot of fun. So thank you. Just as a reminder, if you do want to submit anything for that finale video, gtjustatheory at gmail.com. gtjustatheory at gmail.com.
Woo woo!
So see, the jingle, it worked. So that's there. Submit it to us, please, if you can. And guys, I'm like I said, gonna be on the couch for a while longer. So even though the journey might be ending on the other channels, I'm hanging out on this couch, and my butt groove is going to be comfortable for at least a good while.
I'll come visit you sometime.
Yeah, and hopefully you can come visit a little bit more.
Sounds good.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your incredible support on that video and all the outpouring of love and support that's come out across all the different platforms. You guys are the best. I'm so proud of this community, but really I am, even though it's a meme from YouTube Rewind. Like, it legitimately is. And I cannot wait to end the journey with you on those other channels and continue the journey here. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, remember, it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!